Okay, hello everybody. I have to say this every day. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. And if you are watching, please say hello in the chat. It's very simple. Just do this. Simple. Okay, today we're going to work with a hybrid rudiment. Now, I'm not going to do anything until I get a response. What is your definition of a hybrid rudiment? Let's see how long it takes everybody to respond. Waiting. Could somebody respond, please? No response. Okay. Perhaps I should just close it up. It's a lot easier for me if there is a response. Okay. Okay, very good. That's a good definition. And that's absolutely correct. Two rudiments are combined to form something else. That's considered your Daniel. Is that Daniel Glass or no? My name is Matt. Okay, that's the definition of a hybrid. It's a combination of two rudiments. So, I'm going to not confuse you, but it will make you think. What is the first hybrid rudiment that you have learned? That's my next question. Any response? The first hybrid rudiment that you have learned. All right, let me give you a little hint. It's in the stick control book, page 5. How you doing, Dan? Sorry about last night. Okay, last night I had a little issue with the computer. Everything is resolved. And little Bella has something to do with that, so we have to forgive her. We're talking about hybrid rudiment. What's a hybrid rudiment? Well, it's a combination of a few rudiments. And, they label it as your mother's washing machine or the coffee pot stirring or whatever. I don't know why they come up with names like that. But anyway, the first hybrid rudiment is a paradiddle. And you learn from the stick control book from line 5 down to 72, okay, is a hybrid rudiment. It's a combination of single strokes or double strokes or flams. So the paradiddle is your first hybrid rudiment. The paradiddle is a combination of two singles and a double, two singles and a double. We all agree with that? I mean, it's labeled the paradiddle for, I guess, drumline, or, you're reading some sort of march or whatever, and you call it, okay, play 5-stroke rolls there instead of 7-stroke rolls. But a 5-stroke roll is a hybrid rudiment. 2 doubles, 4 doubles rather, and a single. See, that's the school that, it's not, there's 2 schools of thinking, or thought rather, about rudiments. There's the one school says there's 3 rudiments. The three rudiments are singles, doubles, and flams. And anything that's combined is called a hybrid rudiment. Now, if you're in the drum line, which, man, those guys have some great hands, and I give them a lot of respect. But, you write a sheet of music out for a march or whatever it might be, and you put a 5-stroke roll in there, and it becomes standard. This is a flam paradiddle or flamadiddle. So that is a hybrid rudiment. And, there's like, according to Vic Firth's poster, there's 40 rudiments. Well, I go with that. It's not a problem. If you want to establish a line of communication, you say this is a paradiddle diddle, this is a double paradiddle, this is a 5-stroke roll. But if you analyze them, you'll see that it's a combination of singles and doubles. Now, what I'm going to do today is from actually Master Studies 2. You don't need the book. All you need is stick control and a strong background, or understanding rather, of the level system. Does everybody in here understand the level system? I can review it a little bit. And it's so essential when you play. You use the level system whether you realize it or not when you play. It's just a natural approach. It's the laws of physics. And does everybody understand the communication part of it? The free stroke, the downstroke, the tap, the upstroke. I'm not going to play this blazing fast because this is an instructional platform. So I'm going to demonstrate playing a single paradiddle. I call it a right-hand paradiddle and a left-hand paradiddle. Therefore, it becomes an alternating paradiddle. So, if I start with the right, that's a right-hand paradiddle. I start with the left, put them together, nice and slow. Down, up, tap, tap. Down, up, tap, tap. Now, it'd be kind of difficult to teach this like, you can't see it. So I'm taking it way down. All right, now, I refer to this right, left, right, right as a right-hand paradiddle. I do start with the left, left, right, left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left, left. They're left-handed paradiddles. So we established that. We have right-hand paradiddles. I know it's not a standard kind of thing or a language. If you're playing, for example, 5-stroke rolls, you're alternating them, usually. All right, so they're alternating 5-stroke rolls. So I refer to a paradiddle as a right-hand paradiddle because I'm starting with the right, right, left, right, and then a left-hand paradiddle, left, right, left, left. So now, this is, like I said, in Master Studies 2, and when I was studying with Joe Morello, we used to have a blast. I mean, other than doing the lesson, we come up with just different ways to do the stick control book. And I'm not going to take any credit for anything, but this is the one way I showed him, and I find it in the book. And someone else took credit for who was associated with Joe Morello. That's irrelevant. It doesn't really matter, but I just thought I'd put it out there. Okay, so now, if I did right, left, right, 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 left, right, right, over and over again, and I put the accent on the first note of the paradiddle, I'd have this with the levels: down, tap, tap, up. I have to have that last stroke come up because now I'm in position to nail the paradiddle again. Nice and slow. Right, left, right, 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 left, right, right. So the paradiddle now no longer is down, up, tap, tap, down, up, tap, tap, because I'm not alternating it. Now I take it to the left side. I'm just going to start left, right, left, 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 right, left, left, over and over and over again. And I'm going to put the accent on the first stroke of the paradiddle. Like so. So I'm doing I call them left-hand paradiddles. You can call them whatever you want, and anybody could argue with me and disagree with me. I really don't care. This is the way I teach. Down, tap, tap, up. I'm always utilizing the levels there, so I'm always in position to nail the accent effortlessly. It's always in position to make the attack. And that is a speed stroke in reality. Your upstroke to get in position to hit the up and coming accent is a speed stroke. I mean, I don't really refer to it as a speed stroke, but I'm demonstrating this. So if I have that, if I'm not up, I have to come up in order to nail the accent. So now I'm positioning. Make it in the flow of the pattern. Now, what you have to watch, I come up with a formula utilizing the sticking patterns of the stick control book. I have a ton of these. They're just incredible. George Lawrence Stone was extremely brilliant. I had a lot of fun with Joe Morello, and we used to have a gas with this kind of stuff. So here's the formula. You have the first line, okay? Right, left, right, left. That's the half of the first measure. And the sticking pattern is right, left, and that's if I utilize the formula R equals a right hand paradiddle, L equals a left hand paradiddle. Well, that line is pretty simple because all it is just an alternating paradiddle. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Now this doesn't really come into difficulty until you come to line 3. And something has to occur here in order to get in position to feel comfortable and execute the accent comfortably. Now, what I'm going to do it slow, and then I'm going to break it down. So right, right. That's a sticky. Left, left. Right, right. Left. I'll pick it up. So what I did is I took a formula on the third line. R, R. 2 right-hand paradiddles. L, L. 2 left-hand paradiddles. And I follow that throughout. That's what I'm on, line 3. Now I'm going to break that down. Here's what occurs. We learned how to do the alternating paradiddle, which was down, up, tap, tap. Down, up, tap, tap. Now, that's an alternating paradiddle. I'm going from the right-hand lead to the left-hand lead. Now I have 2 right-hand leads and 2 left-hand leads. So I have to get myself in position. So I'm starting here. I'm breaking it down very slow, gentlemen. You have down. Excuse me. Come on, Pooter. All right, I have down, tap, tap, up. I come up there because now I'm in position, all right, to hit the up-and-coming paradiddle, the right-hand paradiddle. So I go down, but I come up now because I have to get in position to nail the up-and-coming left-hand paradiddle. So I have down, tap, tap, up, down, up, tap, tap. Do we understand that, gentlemen? If not, put something in the chat, and if you need for me to break it down a little bit more, I will. These are great hand conditioners, man. Great hand exercises. Any questions? No questions. Hey, Dan, did you leave your Gary Shafee book here? You got it? Okay. DC's Daniel Glass. Is that you, Daniel Glass? Hello? Who is DC? What's your first name? If you're my friend Daniel, I'm going to shut it down. All right, what is your first name, DC? I know Dan's in here, DC, and there's about 6 or 7 other people in here, and nobody's, okay. Dragston, and you're from the U.S., or where you from? I mean, this is amazing, this modern technology. I mean, I had guys from Chile, Argentina, the UK, Canada, California, Australia, all hanging out here. Do you have any questions so far on the right hand paradiddle? Left. See how relaxed? So you have down, tap, tap, up, down, up, tap, tap. Now I'm exaggerating the movement for instructional purposes. We understand that. Now let's do line 5. Line 5 would be an alternating paradiddle, right, left, and then 2 rights. And then it reverses itself because it's the paradiddle sticking. It goes left, right, left, left. So what I'll do is I'll play it a little bit, and as I do the line, I'll say right, left, right, right, where I'm getting it from. That might help somewhat, okay? So I'm going to do line 5. Here we go. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Stop. Okay, gentlemen, you understand that? No, maybe, perhaps by chance. Okay, so that's what we have there. The line 5. Now here's my recommendation. First, take each line separately. And yeah, look like a robot for this. This is going to improve your hand technique and give you a better understanding of the level system. Now and it takes a lot of concentration and a lot of focus. You need to be regimented here. You need to get that in place. Once you become accustomed to it, you could pick up the tempo, and it's going to start to flow a lot more. So let's go to line, for example, go back to line 3. This is how slow you should do it. And do it first. Understand how it flows. Do it without a metronome. 1, 2, right, left. I count in 16ths. 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and Now I'll do that for a little bit. I become accustomed to that. Then I'll put Mr. Metronome on. And you don't want to start too fast. You want to challenge yourself. Let's start at 70. That seems to be a good tempo. Maybe it's too fast just to begin. That's 1 E and the 2 E and the 3. That's good. That's 2 alternating. Right, left, right. Now the 2 rights. Right, right, left, left. Right, right, left, left. Up. Now, when you get accustomed to this system, if you're wrong, you say, "Oh, I should have been up when you were down." It's so natural. It teaches you if you're incorrect or not. Now, I mean, you could play these any way you'd like, but if you want to move them and get faster and utilize them inside of a pattern or inside of a song rather, you need to have it flow, and this is practicing. So you need to separate practicing from performing. Like I said, I always say, practicing is a very personal thing. You know, you might be able to do okay here. 1, E, and 2, E. Now do doubles. Again, 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and That's how you need to approach it. This works for me, and it works for all my students. And it's a little boring. It's not as glamorous or self-gratifying as playing a funk pattern. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with playing a funk pattern because that's what you're going to do when you play the music. But what this is doing is giving you the chops, man, to put inside of the pattern that you're going to be working with or developing creativity. And that's the whole object. So now, I'm going to do line 3 for about a minute. Let me put my timer on. I'm going to do that at 70 after I've done line 2 without the metronome, getting used to the movement and looking like a robot. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, when you play, you're not looking like a robot. What you're doing is you're performing, and it's all internalized, all this stuff. You're practicing this, you're trying to get it right and develop strength and develop creativity. So I'm going to do it for about a minute. At 70, I'm going to do line 3. Here we go. 1, 2, zabadoom, bang, and. Now I'm challenging myself because I understand the pattern. Now I want to get it in tempo. Make sure all my strokes are sounding the same. Accent. And I made a mistake there. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, nice and relaxed. Alright, we won't do it for a minute. But do you understand what I'm talking about, gentlemen? A lot of guys are going to sit there and go, it ain't going to happen. Because what's going to happen if this is brand new movement and you try to play it like that, you're going to get tense. And you keep practicing that, all you're practicing is tension. And that's a no-no. You would like to be relaxed when you play that. Do we all agree, or any questions on this so far? Responses, please. I also have a drum set application for this. And if you'd like to see that, I'm not going to be doing it tonight. We're working on some linear concepts. Okay? I'm keeping my site open, all right, for the duration of 216, maybe a little bit into 217. What's your name? Daniel, do you have the address to my site? It's a free site from now until 217. And I do a drum set application as opposed to just the one surface application. And like I keep saying, the cameras that I'm using for this will not house a drum set. Let me give you the address. That's Matt Patella, livelessons.com. And all you have to do, the lesson's at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tonight. You go to the site and you look up on the front, there's the menu, live lessons, and it won't appear until 8 o'clock. You can get into the chat and say hello or whatever, but hit on live lessons, it'll take you there. And just hang out and make new friends and give everybody a hard time. Just kidding. Okay, like I said, I have a drum set application for this. But the object, man, this is a great exercise. It's a hybrid, it's not, well, the paradiddle's a hybrid rudiment, like I said. The one line that I like to hang out with, and I use, if I'm going to play this, say I'm going to practice this today, it's very difficult to practice everything all day. I mean, you never put the drumsticks down. So if I'm going to work with this kind of thing today or whenever, I like to go to line 13. Line 13 is 4 rights and 4 lefts. So that's like giving me that feel with the right and then making the switch to the left. So, all right, let me just do it slow. Right, 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 left, 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 right, right, so on and so forth. Now, what I do with that is I'll just warm up a little bit at 70, maybe. To play these kind of up-tempo, man, at 120 is pretty difficult unless your hands are open. Let me just see how open my hands are right at the moment. They're not very open, I can feel that. But let's try it here. 1, 2, do line 3. 1, 2, 3, now we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you do that for 3 minutes, man, you got something going on with your hands. All right, and what you have to do now is you gotta start down on ground zero, and you have to make sure the sounds are correct. When I play the paradiddles, there's two sounds that I'm trying to accomplish: the accent and the non-accent. Now, in order to, if I'm doing the switch like I just did, the level system is going to change. So you need to be aware of that. If you're going to go and try to play this without the level system, uh, you can. There's no problem. That's what you're happy with. But in my opinion, you're not going to go anywhere, nowhere, except get aggravated and frustrated and whatever. This is the way this thing works. And like I said, the level system is natural. And when you play with your band or you're playing a drum solo, you are using the levels, whether you realize that or not. And it's just so natural. It's the laws of physics. The distance. I did a free stroke, downstroke, tap, upstroke. Hey Daniel, are you familiar with the level system? Because it'll take me a few minutes to go over if you don't. Are you familiar with that, Mr. Daniel? I do have a couple videos on my channel demonstrating that. Are you? Yeah. Okay. Do they work for you? They have to work, correct? And if you do it slower, and like I keep telling everybody, it takes more concentration, more focus, and a whole lot of technique to do it slower. To find that happy medium so you're making it move. Okay. There you go, Mr. DC, Daniel. Good for you. And, like I said, man, there's guys out there in the drum corps especially. Man, do they have some chops. I have no idea what sometimes they're playing. But I look at them and I say, whoa, look at that. And then you ask them what it is. Oh, it's a hybrid. And then you ask them a definition of a hybrid, they don't understand it. And I think that's pretty sad. They work so hard to develop their hands. Then they get on the drum set and they're playing a pattern and it sounds like a march inside of a group, inside of a tune. They need to get away from that. It's a different kind of drumming, totally. Field drumming, like this, or playing the drum set. Okay. Any questions from this point on? Tonight we're going to be working on, do I have to do more lines of the stick and drill book? Do we all understand that? I have no problem doing the lines. I just wanted to go to something different. What I'm working on is the stick control book. Absolutely. Maintaining the sticking. And using the grid. Do we all know what the grid is? Mr. Dan, Yul, and Dan, and whoever else is here. Do we all know what the grid is? I just need a Y for yes or an N for no. You can refer to it as the grid, or you can refer to it as permutations. Do I get a response on this one? Okay. Okay, Dan, that's good for you. You got a gig. All right, let me address the grid. It's called a grid because it works in terms of a grouping of four notes. Now, the grouping of four notes, you can start with quarter notes or eighth notes or whatever, but I like to start right to it. I like to start 16th notes. So if I'm doing, for example, alternating strokes, 16th note formation, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So each downbeat has four notes. Okay? Now, like I said, it's called a grid, but I take it to other areas, so you can call it permutate the accent. Now, for example, if I just played 1 E and a, and I hit the first note on the 1 as an accent, I'd have this, 1 E and a. Now, when I go to 2, I'm going to move the accent over 1. So, I mean, that's associated to when you say grid, but I also associate it to permutate, means to move over one. So if I played one, E, and the, I'm going to go to E of two and hit the E. Two, E, and the. Then on three, I go to the and. Three, E, and the. Four, E, and, I'm sorry. Four, oh boy, four, E, and another the. So I'm playing, I'm shifting the accent over one, each four beats, four strokes, four notes, one E and the. Do you understand that now? Does that make a little more sense to you, Mr. Daniel? Do you understand that? Because what we're going to do, we're going to take the Morello book next week one day. That helps you out somewhat. Now, like I said, it's referred to as the grid, grouping of four notes or whatever. But I take it beyond that. And I'll take Joe Morello's table of time. And I'll start with the grouping I just did, the 16th notes. Then I'll do the groupings of 5. And I'll do the groupings of 6. I'll put them on one surface, okay? And one surface, what I'll do is I'll permutate the accent. And then I've come up with 3 or 4 different formulas for those groupings, like the grouping of 4, the grouping of 5, the grouping of 6 on the drum set, okay? With the bass drum as a linear concept. And we all know what linear means, correct? Okay, now, I'm going to make the lesson only, was it a half hour today, for 35 minutes? Because what I need to do, I'll do a few more things, all right? What I need to do is I have appointments that I booked, so I can't spend too much time here. But, Daniel, do you know what I mean by the vamps? First off, is this your first time here, or you've been here before, I think? Maybe you've been here before. Daniel from California. Have you been here before? If not, I'll just demonstrate a few more things. You understand what my vamping patterns are? They're not mine, but that's what I use. Okay, good. You have any questions on the vamping patterns? What I do, I'm going to go to 160. And I usually do this if I have, it's not a good thing to do all the time, but it's something to do when you don't have time to actually warm up. Okay? And I do this, I'll turn the metronome on and my timer on for 3 or 4 minutes, and I'll do 4 measure increments of all right hands, all left hands. I do that with eighth notes and eighth note triplets. And then on the drum set, what I do, I'll vamp on a snare drum, and I'll utilize some foot patterns, different foot patterns, like the samba foot pattern, the bayonne, the clave, things like that. That's what I'll do. And like I said, I can't demonstrate that now, but I'm going to demonstrate just the eighth note vamp. When I'm playing this, let me go backwards a little bit about the linear tonight. First off, the first linear thing that you learn, whether you realize it or not, is if you play the stick control book down without any bass drum, just the hands, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if I do 1 through 72 like that, without the bass drum, okay, that is linear. You didn't even know that. So George Lawrence Stone was brilliant. All right, now I'm going to do just for a couple seconds here, a little bit. I'm going to do the eighth note vamp. What I'm doing is I'm taking 4 measures with the right, 4 measures with the left. Okay, I'm playing eighth notes this time, and I'll just play it a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Right hand. 4, right in. 3, 2, 3, 4. Different heights. So on and so forth. Who's this? Ray, how you doing, Ray? You came here one time and asked that. And I'll give you my experience with a double stroke roll. All right? Now, when I first learned it, it was from a drum corps. And I said, I have to do that. And I was really young, 11, 12 years old. And I had a hard time going right, left, over and over again. There was no formation. So what I did, I get in trouble when I was in school. I hit on the desk, right, left, just so I get that sequence going. It took me a little time, but I did. Now, it did not actually come into view. Hey, Richard, it like, not until I put it into a formation. And the first formation, don't laugh, gentlemen, it was called Ma, Ma, Da, Da. Ma, Ma, Da, Da. Okay? Now, if you ever saw a rudimental drummer or rudimental champ, for example, doing a open roll, he starts off very slow and very high, comes all the way down, doing doubles. And he'll bring it from slow to fast to from slow to medium to fast and back to medium to slow. Great hands with these guys. Now, as far as developing the stroke and rebound, I'm not going to be a scientist and say there's a pull, because there is no. You have to come to realize that nobody can teach you the rebound. You have to feel the rebound, and you will. By just constantly doing right, left, right, left, right, left. And what you need to do is put it in order. Now, the best one that I could tell you or explain to you, if you have the stick control book, would be lines 3 and 4. Now, let's start with line 3, and it's presented to, excuse me, it's presented to you as eighth notes, 1 and 2 and. But notice I'm hitting high. I come back. So, I don't want to stay at eighth notes. I want to do 16th notes. So I'm going to still remain high. I'm going to think. Now it's the thought process and the formation that I'm in. It's the 16th note formation. 1, E, and 2, E, and Now all I'm doing is 2 rights and 2 lefts. 2 rights and 2 lefts. They're not going to sound like this for a while. Now, like I said before, nobody's going to teach you to rebound. My hands are loose. You have to feel it. I'm doing this for hours and hours on end, and I will pick up the tempo. And as I pick up the tempo, notice my hands though, the sticking heights are all coming down from the same spot. Now, the way I think about that, how you doing? Now, the way I do that, okay, well, I lost my thought process. I'm sorry. This old age thing sucks. Okay, so what I do, I just do doubles. Now, there's a certain point that, you have to relax. You should be relaxed all the time. But you're going with the rebound. Your hand controls the rebound. The stick don't control the rebound because you control the stick. Now, I'm not doing a push-pull like that for a rebound. I'm just letting it flow. And my thought is 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. However, if you want to take it as, instead of 1 E and a, start the double on the E, like this. 1 E and the 2 E and. Dorn's thing like that. I'll keep that up for 2 or 3 minutes. And Dan, what do you say? At some point, do fingers come into play for the rebound? All right, let me address that as well. First off, when you're playing, everything is in harmony. All right, everything comes from Mr. Wrist. Okay. Now you have, I don't know, somebody calls it a ball joints and whatever. I call it levers. I don't know if you ever seen levers. You know the wheels that go around and they keep going around and they interlock. Well, that's how I like to refer to this. Okay, so what I do, you have a lever back here from the shoulder, a lever from here in the elbow joint, and a lever from the wrist. There is no lever in the fingers. They're there. The fingers are there to help the wrist because everything comes from the wrist. Now, if I go like that, or if I just drop the stick, I didn't do anything but just release the stick, and that gave me a rebound. Now, I did not control that rebound because I let it go. But if I stop it, I'm just stopping it one time. I'm not grabbing the stick to stop it. That's what I'm doing. Same thing with the left. And I'm thinking the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. Like I'm playing a little syncopated. The 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. Now, like I said, nobody can teach you rebound. You have to find that by yourself, and you will if you pay your dues to the roll. I have never seen anybody play a clean, open roll who hasn't spent a tremendous amount of time and remained humbled and going through the whole thing. That's all I'm going to have the time to do. Dan, stop seeing. Put your glasses on. The fingers do not help. The fingers help the wrist. What controls the stick is my wrist. My arm has to move. My forearm has to move. I can't be stiff, because then if I'm stiff, the stick ain't going to move. I just drop. That's a good exercise. Stroke and rebound. When it comes off, I just stop the stick. I don't go like that. If I do that, what happens is you're using a muscle in here that's unnecessary. And by moving that muscle that way, you're going to create tension. So I just relax. And I don't care who you might be. And that includes God himself, if you believe that. When you're playing two rights and two lefts, if you're playing two rights, there's an attack note and the rebound. The two notes, when you're playing here like this, two rights and two lefts, are not going to sound equal. Only because you have an attack and a rebound. Now, the sound is so minimal that when you're playing up-tempo, you can't really notice it. Do you understand that, gentlemen? Who is that? That's, Hey, Richard, how long have you been here? You know who's a good teacher if you're in the UK? Colin Woolway. You know Colin? Gentlemen? Do we know Colin? Now you see right here, I'm not using no finger, I'm using my wrist, and my finger is controlling the stick. Well, I don't have time right now, but we'll address that come Monday when we come back here. A military song. What do you mean by a military song? That's number one. You mean play a march? You know, if I'm playing a march. I've been working on the Connecticut halftime. Maybe I'll make a video of that. Or Downfall of Paris, which is very difficult snare solos. Uh, do you have Charlie Wilcoxon's 150 rudimental solos? There's 150 solos in there. And if you go through that with the level system, man, you're in business. But I need to go, and I apologize that I cannot address all the questions. So if everybody would like to come back this evening to my live online lesson site, it's going to be free until sometime in 2017, maybe the middle of January or the beginning of February. So the times are Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesday are 8 p.m. all Eastern Standard Time. Hey Dan, good luck on your gig, man. Have some fun. I got to get your address again, so I need to send you that book back. Dan and another fellow came here for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we had kind of an intense kind of drum camp here. I'm sorry, but I will address that issue though, okay? All right, I need to go. Sorry, gentlemen.